The Brooklyn Nets can't seem to catch a break when it comes to injuries. Now add to the list Paul Pierce. It's been reported that the Nets forward broke his right hand against the Rockets. I'm Tony Collins with your latest ESPN headline. For more on this, you bring Ohm Youngmisuk, who covers the Nets for ESPNNewYork.com. What more can you tell us about Pierce's injury?
Well, not much. I mean, Jason Kidd said he did not know when Pierce broke his hand. Now, Pierce last played 15 minutes in the first half against Houston on Friday night, and then Kidd benched 4 of his 5 starters at halftime of that game and really only went with Brook Lopez on the stretch. And then Pierce did not play against Memphis with I think the injury was then called a bruised right hand. So the Nets believe that he hurt his hand at some point during that Houston game, but we don't really know when. We haven't spoken to Pierce yet, but the prognosis is 2 to 4 weeks.
Does it strike you kind of odd that Jason Kidd didn't know when Pierce got injured?
Not necessarily. Head coaches sometimes are going to be pretty cryptic and not really say when. In this case, the Nets have generally not really been that open or descriptive with injuries. I'm not going to say they weren't truthful or anything like that. Mm-hmm. They have been, but I don't think they've, like for example, a lot of these players like Darren Williams, Jason Terry, Andre Kirilenko, many times they've been out for a long time, but we've been told they're day-to-day. But actually this week the Nets told us Darren Williams will be out on Tuesday night against Denver and is doubtful against the Knicks. And Kirilenko and Terry, I think, are out for another week. So, but as far as, Jason Kidd not really knowing when, mm-hmm. Sometimes head coaches don't always want to reveal exactly when guys got hurt or how.
Now, with Pierce, who's going to have to step up in his place?
It's going to probably be Alan Anderson. He started in place of Pierce in the last game against Memphis, and he's the most likely candidate to continue to start. And really, in a weird way, the Nets have gotten, more production out of their bench than they had been getting out of a lot of their starters for some reason. So in many cases, like, with what Kidd went with the lineup against Houston in that second half, he was already playing a lot of Alan Anderson to begin with. So I think, chemistry-wise for the Nets, Alan Anderson stepping in is going to be a pretty seamless transition for them, at least if that's how it appears.
You cover the Nets day in, day out. How do you think Jason Kidd has handled all these injuries and everything that's happened with the team so far?
Well, he's trying his best, and I think he's still searching. I mean, obviously, this is his first time as head coach at any level, so everything he's doing every day is a learning process for him, and, I think he's trying to figure everything out. He has, I think, lost 37 games to injuries to players this season. He's had to use, I think, 7 different starting lineups. Joe Johnson has been the only starter that has started every game this season, so he has had a lot working against him so far in his rookie season. And he just got Brook Lopez back, but he's not going to have Andre Kirilenko. He's not going to have Jason Terry for a while. Darren Williams, we don't know when he's going to come back, and now Paul Pierce out for a month. So he definitely is going to keep finding his way because he is not going to have his full allotment of players now for at least another month. And once that happens, once the team is at full strength, it's going to be an adjustment period again because these guys just don't have the chemistry right now, and they didn't really even have a full training camp together because Darren Williams is out for most of training camp. So it's going to be, this process is going to take a lot longer than I think Jason Kidd had thought, and we might not see the Nets clicking on all cylinders until maybe like February or even later than that.
Ohm Youngmisuk, who covers the Nets for ESPN New York, with the insight. For the latest news on the Nets, make sure to check out ESPNNewYork.com. I'm Tony Collins with your ESPN headline.